morning, everyone, and welcome to Design for Change Festival Talks. My name is Shirine Al-Khudari. I'm the DFC Global Partner, the official partner for Jordan. And today I have two very special guests to introduce to you. We have Mr. Ahmed Hanandeh. Mr. Ahmed Hanandeh has a very rich and very successful history in social entrepreneurship, in supporting youth, in supporting leadership in youth, amongst many other private accomplishments in his career. Mr. Hanandeh is also a member of the advisory board for Design for Change Global. We also have young Mr. Jaafar Wahbi. Jaafar has started his own initiative in Jordan called National Day Jordan. It was a response to Design for Change initiative and the global goals. Jaafar was only 9 when he started the initiative. He is a passionate and patriotic Jordanian who wants to do good for his country and who wants to incur positive change. So welcome both of you. And now we are going to give you each a couple of minutes to also introduce yourselves to our audience. We will start with Mr. Hanandeh.
Shukran, Ms. Shireen. I think you said it all. Thank you for the nice introduction. My name is Ahmed Hanandeh. I started my career as an accountant, and then I evolved into the career to be in multiple organizations, multiple positions in different fields and different countries as well. My passion is youth, my passion is technology, and my passion is at this age, at this stage of my career, is to be able to help and support youth to achieve or to transform their dreams into reality and into sustainable projects. This is in short. Right now, I run my own, after a long career in corporate life. Right now, I run my own startup studio. Startup studio is a new idea of an incubation and acceleration. Take ideas and help these ideas and the owner of these ideas into transforming these ideas into sustainable projects. And at the moment, we run around 23 projects under the umbrella of the startup studio.
Okay, great. Thank you. And Jaafar, what would you like to tell your audience about your very long, despite your young age, rich career so far?
First of all, thank you, Ms. Shireen, for the brief introduction. My name is Jaafar Wahbi. I'm 12 years old and I'm from Jordan. I'm the founder of an initiative named National Day Jordan, which aims mainly to contribute to the UN SDGs, better known as the Sustainable Development Goals, which are characterized by the top 3 goals: limiting absolute poverty, achieving social justice within our societies, and sharing access to resources worldwide. And of course, I can't do all this by my own, so I reach out for partnerships with companies, institutions, and individuals, where we dedicate a day, me and the partner in the year, to do a sustainable community service each year on the same day. And alhamdulillah, in my country, Jordan, I have signed up to 100 companies. And one of the companies was Zain, where I first met Mr. Ahmed Hanandeh, or as I call him, Ammu Abu Karim. And since then, we did a lot of things together, whether it was from YesJo program, Young Entrepreneur Society of Jordan, which aims to see the potential of children. And then in All for Joe group, which is a social services group here in Jordan, and I'm proudly a member of. I'm passionate about technology and the future, and I believe that each one in all of us in the society can contribute positively in its development.
Okay, great. Welcome, both of you. And now we're going to move to the topic which you have chosen, both of you, as the basis for the discussion today. So you're going to talk about the ever-changing economies around the world, what influences these changes, and how is Jordan responding to these changes? I would like to open the discussion, and you can pick it up from here. Please go ahead.
I believe that our economies are changing within the worldwide development and the access to the tools of the 21st century, mainly because of the technological advances that we are living, as you know, Ms. Shirine. So whether it was from digital marketing to e-commerce and our sustainable vision for money and banking, all of these sectors are being hugely changed by our technological advances. And us as humans, we are adapting each day to these changes and trying to contribute in this development here in Jordan. We are working. Everybody here is working hard to achieve the vision of being more technologically advanced. Yet we are still in the beginning of our way. And I don't know, what is your opinion, Mr. Ahmed Hanandeh?
I cannot, to be honest, disagree with you, Jaafar. The thing is, it's a fact that internet rather than technology is changing the world. It's a fact that at the moment we have a virtual world that is evolving and competing with the real world.
Yes.
Digitalization and transformation is becoming the most popular words that we hear every day in our life. Today, future is going to be different with all these changes. We started to see the change worldwide. We started to see the change in how economies are evolving, building on maximizing the use of the internet in the day-to-day lifestyle, and it started to actually grow even bigger. Today, with the recent crisis actually, and with Corona hitting worldwide, the need for such transformation became even bigger. And people realized, they can do so many things online that they have never done it before. And accordingly, my opinion, we're and most of the studies prove that the economies need to respond to these changes and international trends, and need to build the proper base for people, especially to maximize the utilization of this transformation to their best interest, in a way where they can find solution, and they can help the country to be more dependent on the internet, to help the country to be more familiar with using this internet and supporting the lifestyle of individuals and corporates in each and every country.
Okay. So, yeah, go ahead.
Jordan, our biggest challenge is unemployment. and that's the nightmare of all parties involved into the economy and the social economy. And the only way to beat that is to allow people to create new jobs for themselves, to create their own opportunities. And the only way to create these opportunities is to invest into this virtual world and allow people to define new roles and new jobs for them in this world. We know that almost more than 50% of the current jobs in the world are going to disappear sooner or later if the transformation remains on the same trend. We all know that people like Jaafar and his peers at his age are going to work in, most of them, more than 60% of them, they're going to work in jobs that they don't exist today. And accordingly, each and every country in Jordan is no different. Need to understand this fact, act on it, and act upon it. This is not something that we can just say we're going to do it. It's a long journey, it's a long planning, and so many things need to be fixed, tuned, and prepared so the new generation can be actually easily transformed into the new era of technology and into the new era of digitization.
So do you think Jordan is responding as quickly as the change is happening, or slowly? And what should we do to help support that change, happen in the right direction?
Usually I'm always positive and optimistic.
Absolutely.
Negative and pessimistic. But the real answer to your question is no.
Not yet. But we have made some modest attempts, right? Like with our sudden move to learning online, due to the coronavirus and all of that. So attempts have been made, and some people quote very successful experiences, others maybe not so.
What happened during Corona, Ms. Shirine, proves one thing, that we're able to do it.
Exactly.
That we can do it.
Yeah.
But the fact on the ground is that the crisis got us to do some initiatives that supports the fact that we can do it, and we have the resources and the people who can do this for us. And it supported the fact that people know they're not resistant to change, okay, but change is something that needs time, okay, to be it needs dialogue, and we believe it needs a pull style, not a push style.
Yeah. It's a mind shift.
Convince people, they need to change at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's a mind shift.
So, but if you ask me, was it smooth going online? It was good.
No, of course not.
It had plenty of challenges, issues, and not everybody had access to internet. Not everybody had devices to use to access the online learning. So we took the initiative. But you asked me another question. Is the country up to date? Is the country doing it? Is the country ready for the transformation? I said, no, we're not doing enough, because if we want to do it, then we have to start with one thing: education.
So how do we start?
It's on some of the education. It's on the
content. Yeah, Jaafar, go. Yeah.
How we run this sector, and what are we getting our our young people prepared for? So are our graduates familiar with technology? No. Are they equipped with the right skills and knowledge, okay, that helps them to drive through this all these changes and run the future vision of the country? They're not. Okay.
Not totally not ready. I think the new generation is actually, on its way. Let's listen to Jaafar's point of view, because he's a very enthusiastic youth, and see what's happening in his world. Go ahead, Jaafar.
Of course, I totally agree with you, Mr. Ahmed, because I think the coronavirus pandemic pushed us into our limits and showed us what we are missing in this jigsaw. What are the points that we still need to develop? So we saw that the internet capacity of Jordan was not enough. Other countries in the tertiary sector are looking and are reflecting on this experience. I think we need in Jordan to have a higher capacity of internet, to have our education, and of course education is as Nelson Mandela said, the most powerful weapon we can use to change the world. So based on Singapore's experience, which was in the early 20th century, was, let's say, one of the world's developing countries. Now it's developed because they believed in the essence of education, and all the budget they had at that time was put into education. So we need here in Jordan to have our education stronger, to have it teaching us as youth skills that we need when we face our real life experience on the field. So we need to learn about concepts like sharing economy, this rising form of economy, let's say, that is showing its success around the world. Better than the communism and capitalism, from my perspective experience. We need to focus on technology, leadership, teamwork, all of these skills that are vital for the development. And the coronavirus pandemic also teaches us that we are not ready for another pandemic to come. Jordan, let's say, on the Jordanian perspective, we need to have a stronger agriculture, stronger medical field, and of course stronger technological field, as they are the basic and the most primary sectors that we need to have in order to surpass such circumstances. As now Jordan is one of alhamdulillah, is one of the countries that were of course disadvantaged by the coronavirus, but less than others. So we need to use this as an advantage and work on these sectors and try to import even to other countries. Brazil was one of the most benefited countries by the coronavirus, as they have imported, whether it was from mainly it was in the agricultural field, they had a lot of countries, and in the medical, of course, and in others. So yeah, I agree. And Mr. Ahmed said that I believe that mainly internet is shaping, let's say, the economy more than technology. Well, I disagree with you, because I think technology as a whole is changing it. Internet is a part of the technology, but we are also having other technologies that are rising, whether it was from the blockchain, artificial intelligence, or all of these.
Yeah, there are good attempts. Yeah. So how would you like to see education in schools changing, Jaafar, to meet these demands and to help youth, solve these imminent problems? In which areas would you like to see schools changing?
As said previously, I think that we need to focus on technology and to adapt with the fourth technologic revolution. We can learn the skills, and we can take a part in the global market right now. One of the most important reasons for the high rate of unemployment, whether it was in Jordan or from the global
world,
perspective, that as youth, we are not ready to go there on the field. The problem here, I believe that it's a part of it is from the schooling system, and the other part is from us as youth. We can take part of experiences in startup incubators or startup accelerators and studios. For me, I'm a trainee right now at the warehouse, which Abu Karim founded, startup studio, so I can learn this experience and I can learn these new skills. So we need all to cooperate together and to reduce the levels of unemployment and learn these skills.
Okay, so let's move to Abu Karim and ask him the same question. What is your perspective on education and the way it's taking place in Jordan today? And how would you like to see it changed?
My perspective in this front is we need to review the whole process.
Yeah, I agree.
Upgrade the skills of the teachers. We need to change the content that we're giving to our kids. We need to focus on skills.
Absolutely.
Textbooks, personal skills, personal competencies. We need to, no doubt that some schools are doing it and some schools are doing it very well.
Yeah.
But when we are talking about education, we're not talking about tries.
Schools.
We're talking about the whole educational system. That creates, to be honest, a gap in Jordan. There is a gap, a generation gap within the same age group.
Yeah.
So some people are way behind and some people are way advanced. And there is a huge gap in between. So in my opinion, there has been a study actually, and there has been a national committee that worked on what the education system in Jordan requires to be up to the level up to the level of what's going on around us in the world. And if we look at Singapore, for example, Singapore did not do anything except developing an educational system for 50 years, and look where Singapore now because of that.
Yeah.
So any country,
and the same thing for Finland. Yeah.
Any country that puts education as its first priority has no way to fail, has no way to stay behind. They'll always have something new to give to the world. So accordingly, in my opinion, it's a complete revamp on the mindset, on the curriculum, okay,
on the skills,
and on the priorities. And if we don't get the teachers and the people within the educational system understand what future is and how future looks like, and I'll tell you one thing: artificial intelligence today, for example, is as smart as a mouse. But in a few years' time, it will be as smart as a human.
Yeah, true.
As smart as the smartest human.
Wow.
And in a few years later than that, it will be smarter than the whole humanity.
Wow.
So today, the teachers are challenged. The kids,
absolutely,
certain topics, the kids knows more than them. Now,
that's true.
Go to YouTube, put your car model, okay, tell them what the problem is. They might tell you how to fix it. They might be able to fix it using YouTube.
Yeah.
I have kids who learned how to do a simple mathematics equation at a very early age using YouTube sessions. So the role now at schools need to evolve, okay, to encourage kids, okay, to use this
the skills
to study and to know things, and we have to focus in the curiosity of the kids to know things and help them to find the ways to get these things out.
I mean, as an educator, I would say we need to blur the lines between school and real life and get the children to actually apply their knowledge in real life situations and problem solve and go to training places. You know, part of their learning should be the actual hands-on learning, because they don't need the knowledge anymore. They can get it with a click of a button. Yes.
To run a program where people at university, they come to work at Zain in the past, and we called it a youth program, youth development program. And right now we run an initiative called Youth Leadership Development Program under the name Lovejoy. The ability of the students to actually work while they're studying is almost 100%.
Wow.
So the problem is not only on the availability of jobs, it's on the skills of the people graduating from schools.
Skills is major. You know, when we hire people in the interview, we are most impressed with skills or not impressed at all. And this is what was lacking for years in our educational systems, where the children were just sitting there receiving knowledge instead of practicing it, instead of standing, speaking, you know, giving their opinions, convincing, and all these are important skills in real life. So yes, I agree, a total revamp in our educational system. And when we talk about educational system, we don't talk about a select few schools that are making these big attempts. We are talking about the majority of the educational system here in Jordan that needs revamping.
At the end of the day, Ms. Shirine, I have to say something. You know, if you want to get, Jaafar keeps saying something that I like it.
Yeah.
We don't have to focus only on technology and the artificial intelligence. We need to focus on the human intelligence.
On the human being.
The value of the human intelligence.
Absolutely.
But the human intelligence, people are, they're born intelligent, but they need to learn how to use it. So
absolutely. And in good ways too, you know. We need to keep the humanity also married to the intelligence so that, you know, we can do good in the world.
We need to actually teach our kids on how to make a change and how to lead and how to be the change itself.
And you know, I think part of the problem is also because I saw that happen at one phase, is that this difference in children using technology and the older generation being not so, you know, tech savvy has caused the change to be very slow in schools. I remember teachers freaking out at the beginning when we introduced e-boards in the classrooms. And it was like, I won't use it, I cannot use it. But now, of course, they've made great, you know, strides in that respect. But it wasn't easy because they were not born with the technology. So my optimistic opinion is that with the younger generation, we're going to see faster steps of change, because now, you know, a 2-year-old knows how to open a phone and, you know, flip through it and so on. So I still have hope in our youth, and what you're doing is amazing. Yeah, go ahead.
We're allowing technology to change our life.
Yeah.
We're allowing internet to change our life.
Yeah.
In reality, we need to learn how to use technology and internet to make our life better.
Absolutely.
Our life more productive, to make our future more secure, more stable. Today, the thing is, we're sitting there waiting for people to come up with a new solution, and we use the solution. And under crisis, we started to use the solution more. Corona showed us a lot of things, and that showed us that we fall behind in so many fronts.
True.
And
It was such a
I-
test.
when
Yeah.
you look at financial literacy, for example, you realize that for people who depend on cash, nobody is using electronic payments, nobody is using banks, nobody is using wallets. And we were pushing, most of the people are using cash actually. And
Cash, yeah.
cash.
Of course.
So to reach a cashless economy, we need a culture of cashless transactions. So it all
And
goes back to culture, and culture starts in the educational system.
education.
Start in the education. We
Absolutely.
know better than our parents through the educational system. So our parents know something, and then in the school we get the new version of it. We get the new way of thinking of it. We get the new way of doing it. We get the new way of transforming our lifestyle into a better lifestyle. Jaafar said about agriculture, for example. So many new innovations about agriculture where everybody can grow things at home, on the rooftops,
Wow. Yeah.
in pots. Okay, so today we need to teach our kids how to be productive. Okay,
Absolutely.
how to use everything around them to their best interest, to the best of the future, to the best of the country, and in all fronts. But the most important, how to be productive, how to be productive, and how to be the leaders of change.
Definitely.
Okay, Jaafar, if you were to send a message to our Minister of Education today, what would you like to tell him?
First of all, I would like to thank our Ministry of Education for their efforts in trying to develop this sector, knowing that Jordan did not have, let's say, the proper background in this field, meaning that of course we need to start by someone. We need to start at some point, and I see that in the current years and in this decade we are starting in developing of education. So that's so brave to start, but I think it's not yet efficient, as we all agreed, and we need to develop these skills in the children and in the youth through all of our suggestions that were mentioned. And I would like here also to say that I believe that when we learn these skills, we would be able to limit the rate of unemployment, as we would be entrepreneurs. We would have this mindset, and we would be able to innovate within our countries and would not wait for job opportunities. Rather than we would create the job opportunities using startups or businesses. And not only that, we would also create opportunities for others to join us, and eventually we would all thrive together and develop in many aspects.
Okay, that's great. Thank you. If you have any more input on, on your behalf or Abu Karim's behalf, we're open for that. Is there anything else you would like to add?
So I think the coronavirus taught us a lot of important lessons. One of them is the problems that we are facing in our banking systems, other than cashless transactions. So I believe that whether it was from the government or the central banks, we need to activate our monetary and fiscal policy. So we need, for example, including the fiscal policy, we need to make loans easier for banks, and we need to try the central banks to help financial markets to loan people money, and these people are the ones who are going to develop the economy. And by doing that, we can, of course, as said before, we can have a more self-sufficient economy that is so important in the time in such crisis when global interactions are limited. But of course, they are not over yet, because as part of DFC, we have the DFC Global Student Council from 10 countries around the world, and we are all interacting together, trying to innovate solutions within the resources given in our countries. And I think this initiative by DFC is amazing and is one of the most crucial things we need to have in our schooling systems, where we all collaborate together, develop teamwork and leadership, and at the same time innovate. One of the most important problems, and I criticize a lot this bad habit in our societies, which is complaining. We complain negatively about things around us and about the problems. We need to complain positively by identifying our problem and trying to solve it. And this is so important to have from a young age at schools. And as Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than reality. So we need to develop our imagination and creativity in the school curriculum or outside it.
So this is also the heart of DFC, right? The fifth step in problem solving. First, we feel a problem, and we obviously are talking about a problem that we feel very strongly. Then we imagine the solution, which is a world where all of these problems are solved. And then we go to the do something about it. And this is where people, as you said, should not complain. If there is a problem, feel it, imagine a solution, and do something about it. And then you share it, and that's how change happens. So what is the do that you would like to advise your fellow youth today about helping these changes grow more quickly in Jordan?
Yes, of course, I agree with you, Ms. Shireen, and I believe that us as youth, the first step to reach success and to develop our countries, as we are, of course, responsible in its development, that we need to believe in our potentials, believe in ourselves, and believe in one of the most important mindsets that we also encourage at DFC, which is I can, you can, and we can. We all can contribute to our societies and us as children, and at such time we need to use our imagination in this field to help the world surpass this crisis. And I think Mr. Ahmed Hanandeh is of course more privileged more than me to have an advice for youth from his long and rich experience. And you, of course, Ms. Shireen, so I would like to hear your opinions.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Hanandeh, I believe is a hero because he believes in the youth and he's doing something about it. He is in the do and share stage, and that is amazing. And we would like to hear about that experience from Mr. Hanandeh, if he doesn't mind. Oh.
I was happy to hear Jaafar talking about the complaining thing. I was happy hearing you talking about the problems and how we need to see them.
Problem solving, yeah.
And I have to agree with both of you that human innovation is at its best when there is a problem or there is a challenge. Humanity, from the time it started, all their inventions and their solutions came in response to problems. Again, I'll use Corona. We have seen so many good things in response to Corona. Bad things sometimes lead to good things. And I believe it's going to lead us to think better about the future, to think better about what's coming next, and think better about what do we need to make the change that is required. And look at each and every problem the way we looked at Corona. and the way we looked at the challenge of Corona, how to find solutions, how to come up with new ideas, how to come up with new innovations. And Corona gave us the hope, actually. It's the light at the end of the tunnel for us. No, we're able, we can. It's easy. All what we need is not to try to make the problem disappear, but try to sort out the problem and find the right solution for it. That's what I think the Jordanian youth will be very good at.
And Corona, in a way, united the whole world.
Exactly.
You know, we're all now searching for solutions for the same problem.
I agree.
Well, thank you very much, both of you, for this great meeting online. And thank you for this great conversation and talk. We wish you both a lovely day, and hopefully we will meet again in other sessions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaafar.
Thank you, Shirine.
Hanandeh. Thank you. Take care.
And thank you, Mr. Ahmed, for joining us today, and Ms. Shirine.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
خليك هيك يا بطل.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.